Hello there again, it's Peter Ratcliffe from the Sphere IT podcast, broadcasting from the Insurtech Insights in London in March 2024. And I've got Brijesh, someone who's representing the Swiss Insurtech Hub, someone I've been keen to meet and actually tried messaging you weeks ago. So thank you very much for finally
get to meet each other.
So it's really good to have you. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you're here and what you do.
First of all, congrats on getting my name right. I've had my name pronounced in 15 different ways since morning, but that's great.
Good.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, Peter. So like I said, so I'm with the Swiss Insurtech Hub. We are basically an ecosystem that puts together incumbents, large insurers, insurtechs or startups who've been around this space, as well as large technology and consulting players, along with academia, so that they can connect together to really drive innovation.
Sure.
In the ecosystem. It's really, we are a non-for-profit association, which was formed by, and coming back to your question about what do I do with them, this association was formed by a few of us in the past, and all of us have a background in insurance. I worked with Zurich Insurance, technology consulting firms focused primarily on. One day, a few of us sitting and asking a question, do we know how many insurtechs or startups in Switzerland exist? And we all scratch our heads and say, I think so. But the definitive answer was no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's like what you and I think, but then we say, hang on, there must be a simple way to put this together. Right? Because lots of people are asking, everybody wants to do innovation, right? It's a buzzword. It's like today's Gen AI. Everybody wants to do Gen AI. But the question was, if you want to drive innovation, it's a question of buy versus make.
Yes.
At the end of the day. So when an insurer thinks of something, say, I want to do X, where do I look for? Right? So that's why I said we are an association that we formed where we create this ecosystem.
Yes.
To really make this happen.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, that's exactly how I feel about the marketplace. And, you know, I come from a consulting background myself and spent a long time working with many insurance customers. Sometimes I'm frustrated with the lack of energy, and it's good to see that your organisation is turning that around on its head. And part of the reason why the podcast exists is because we want to give insurtechs and the carriers a better view of what's going on in the market and what can be achieved.
Yeah.
But to see where we're going, we've got to understand where we've been. So my question to you is, why is it taking so long? And why do the big carriers seem to be stuck and not making those decisions or delaying decisions? And yes, the market is okay for good carriers at the moment, so there might be some inertia, but we're not there. We're coming out of that.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think? What's caused it?
Well, I think it's a very pertinent question, right? So I worked for an insurance company for a long time, and you've been with insurance. You worked with insurance. Now, insurance is a risk management business at the end of the day, right? Now, we might be generalizing it, but at least I've seen that most of the insurers in the past always had a wait and watch game.
Right.
Let's see which way the market is going, right? But the market will only go somewhere if somebody does something about it.
Sure.
Right? Now, if nobody does anything about it, where's the market going to go? Right? At the end of the day, so it's that inherent inertia to say, we've done well so far, we managed risk well so far, will we be taking a risk by doing something different? Now, we all know any large insurer has a huge internal transformation or internal consulting organization that wants to do this. But it's really a question of how much do you want to rock the boat?
Yes.
How much do you want to rock the boat, right? And sadly, most large companies in the past were not too keen on rocking the boat, till the time they saw other people who did not have a history coming into their space.
Yes, and invading their position,
Precisely.
coming out with innovations. And, you know, it's what I like to see when you look at these insurtech brands out there, whether they're an MGA with a tick, great technology supporting it, or a legitimately disruptive solution. When it's someone that's worked at one of the big players for 20 years, I've said it and I say it again, I'm doing it, and they've done well. And I do like to see that. And it makes them think a bit differently. the carriers start moving on. So now we're in that transition phase. I think the incubators, the relationships, they're changing. I think technology as well in terms of internal investment in carriers, the modernization side, getting data right, all of those things are now happening. So it's positive for everyone.
It is positive, right? Because what we typically do is we work directly with either the heads of innovations or the chief underwriting or the CIO or the CTOs of different companies. And I think it's always a question. A good example is Zurich Insurance. They run the biggest innovation championships, if you will, in the insurance space, right? Now, they're a beacon. And there are lots of companies that want to follow them, right? And this is where, over the last 2 years, what we're doing is we're working with a lot of large as well as medium-sized insurance companies, really doing this incubation with them, say, look, what are the problems you try to solve? Because then, given our reach, we've got 160 odd Insurtechs who are a part of our ecosystem. We can help you connect with the right people, right? Yeah, it's a bit like either you can go out looking for a pasta bolognese, a bolognese sauce in a supermarket, or you could call an Italian friend and say, tell me which is the best one that I can use.
Yeah.
Right? Sense. So you can do it both ways. And I think we do it the other way around. We are somebody who people will call to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good what you're doing. I think it's what's required. And I'm seeing it repeated in different areas. Different industry participants doing it. It's wonderful. But Insurtechs aren't always successful. So what is the difference between these successful ones and the ones that fail?
The one that failed, I think there are two factors. The first one that I see is, do they start with a problem statement? Whose problem statement is it? Now we'll take an example, right? So one of the Insurtechs in our space, the founder worked for a large reinsurer for a long time, right? And when he was in there, he saw the problems that he had to face. And he says, I know technology. I can come and create a solution which will solve that problem. So that is one way to create an Insurtech. The other way is I have a technology. Now I'm looking for a problem that I can patch that technology to. My experience, and I'm no definitive thing, Insurtechs who fail, they come from the latter side.
Yeah.
I have a technology now, I'm looking to patch it on.
Right.
To that.
Right,
and on the other factor is how open are Insurtechs to let insurers in to guide them, because I like to call it a not invented here syndrome.
Right, okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
so that as long as insurers or Insurtechs, they come in with the fact, hey, I didn't come up with this idea and I'm the so-called innovator, things can go south.
Sure.
Things can go south.
Sure. And do you think, as a final thought, that the investment space for Insurtechs is only going to grow from now on because of the acceleration of technology and the recognition of the market that it's needed?
It is going to grow. Well, actually, interestingly, last year, the investment went down by close to 30% if you look at the global scale, all right? But now where it's growing is in very specific areas. Well, we've all heard Gen AI, but so there are people actually going and looking for, said, can I do something real with it? Another area which is really going on is people, Insurtechs, who can come in and say, we can do risk aggregation, analysis of unstructured, structured data, where I can convert English into mathematics.
Sure.
Where I can give you a guidance on which is a good underwriting to do. And I think those are the areas where the investment is going to continue to grow in, because even the investors are starting to get smart.
Yeah. Of course they are.
And that's just a flavor of which way the insurance market or the investment market is going to go.
Brilliant.